All right, good evening. We're going to go ahead and call this special board meeting for the Southeast Polk School Board on March 25th, 2024 in session. Karen, can I get roll call?
Brett,
Here.
Bridget,
Here.
Chad, Rick,
Here.
Kelly,
Here.
Lori,
Here.
Whitney.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second. Thank you, Rick. Karen?
Bridget,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes. All right, can I get a volunteer to read the district vision and mission form?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Southeast Polk Community Schools engage all students in learning a challenging curriculum delivered through quality instruction.
Thank you. All right, item 2, new and old business. Can I get a motion? Well, no, we don't need a motion. I'm going to read something before we get into the public hearing, though. This public hearing is required as part of the district's certified budget. The notice provided to each resident shows the maximum total property tax the district will adopt as part of the certified budget, which will be adopted by April 30th. The board secretary is hereby directed to enter any written comments into the record of this public hearing. And for those of you in attendance, thank you for being here today. We value your input and are interested in hearing your comments. If you're planning on speaking, please fill out a form. You can find the form back at the back table. I've got a couple right now if anybody else wants to fill one out. I just need to make sure it has your name, address on it, and then hand it in to the board secretary, or you can bring it to us. Your name will be called in the order received. Each speaker will have a maximum of 3 minutes. Your public comments will be considered as part of the district's financial budget decision. As a reminder, board members are present to listen to and receive these comments. Board members will not engage in the dialogue or respond to questions during the meeting, but may address issues that arise at a future board meeting. And we are ready to proceed. I'll call the first name. So I'll open the board, the hearing at 5:32. And Roy Mills. Yeah. Yep. Can I just come on up? Just state your name and then your address for the record.
My name's Roy Mills. Address is 3122 Brookview Drive. And I'm here tonight because of the increased valuation that happened in our home. 22%, what most everybody got, I guess. But for us, it was a $91,000 increase in a value that we just don't see at the market. So, but the real problem is that our taxes are going to be increased so high that this is the first time in my life that I've had to worry about whether I have to sell because I can't afford to live in my own home. And when I saw the sheet that showed that the school district was going to get $2.6 million additional funds with this tax increase, and that comes out to about 6.5% increase in a single year. And I got 3.2 on my Social Security. It's kind of a hard pill to swallow. And I just wanted to come here tonight and let you know that there are a lot of senior citizens that are on fixed incomes. And I'm not sure what your budget looks like, what you've proposed in the House, but that 6.54, you know, if you used a 3.2 as an increase in gain, you'd still be getting over $1 million a year. And that's a nice increase, I think. So I just, I would appreciate it if you would consider those people that just aren't or may not be able to afford to do what they're being asked to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we go something?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Della Owens.
Well, I really don't know what I'm gonna say. When I filled that card out, I didn't know what I was filling it out for, but after listening to this gentleman, I have to agree that I am a widow and I'm a senior citizen. And I have had to contemplate lately, am I gonna have to sell my house? Because am I gonna have enough money coming in with my social security to keep up the taxes? And just all the cost of living, you know, everything's gone up. So I've got myself on a pretty tight budget. And I don't like that. My husband died 10 years ago, and this is the first time that I've had to really worry about it. I've been raising my great-granddaughter. I adopted her when she was 4, and she's been getting Social Security after losing my husband. Now that she's 18 now, and so I've lost that. So now I'm down to just my income. So I just feel like the taxes just keep going up. So if that explains why I'm here, I guess that's all I can say is I'd like to see the taxes gone down. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen or not, but that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan, is it site board? Okay,
I live at 507 19th Street Southwest here in Altoona. And of course, it's about the taxes. And well, first of all, I appreciate seeing this form out. I'm not sure I quite understand how to read it. But one thing I look at what everybody said as far as the taxes going up. You know, when I look back, I know that everybody has to, you know, write a check for property taxes, manage expenses, whether it's personal or government, and costs go up. So I do get all that. But one of the things I look back is what's happened the last 4 years. And I actually looked at the governor's condition of the state in 2020, where she talked about significantly cutting income taxes, you know, mental health. And the one of course, I'm focusing on to reduce the burden to property taxpayers. And since that time, we've had that 1% sales tax increase that went into effect in June 2022. And that was supposed to help with education as well as other types of expenses. And as I recall, the governor's saying, and the marketing for that was your property tax. I get it. The rate won't go up, but that doesn't mean your valuations wouldn't go up, which is what they did. So they talked about the rate not going up. And to quote the governor, when that was passed, she says, I have no interest in raising taxes. So any increase in revenue from a sales tax must be offset by additional tax cuts. Again, I get that's not just property tax, but it's just, again, tax after tax. And then that was June 22. That increase goes in the spring of 2023, less than a year, we get high evaluations. Most people had evaluation increases. And then here we are a year later, less than 2 years after that 1% sales tax, now looking at another tax rate increase. And again, I understand the need for budgets, but it's just not clear to me is we're paying 1% more in taxes for sales taxes. Why are we now having to increase another tax to help with budgets? So I agree with what everyone said is that I prefer not to see that increase because I feel that we're already paying it by the sales tax. And the way I took it from the state was that would reduce the chance of us having to increase our property taxes. Thank you.
thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? If you want to come up and state your name and then address, and if you could, before you leave, just fill out a card so we have it for record.
I'm Bob Morgan. I live at 6727 Vandalia. I just, like everybody else, probably got this very shortly, last day or two. I just want to know, why do we need another $2 million? I mean, how do we justify another $2 million? I mean, Polk County's already gonna ask for another 20. But I don't understand why do we need another $2 million?
We won't ask that yet, but we'll probably have our financial guru come up and kind of explain some things, and maybe that'll
Okay,
make some stuff.
all right. But I agree with everything else everybody's saying.
Yep.
It's getting out of hand.
I think we all can agree with that. Anybody else? The one gentleman in the back. I know you came in late. If you wanted to speak, you can fill out a card and come up, or. Okay. All right. Hearing no other comments, we'll go ahead and, Mr. McCom, would you like to just say anything on this, or just kind of explain maybe some of the reasons?
Kevin Bacom, Executive Director of Business Services here for the district. Appreciate you guys being here for the public hearing. Know that this is a statement, the statement you got in the mail is something that was new proposed in the last year's legislation. That's why you have it. As far as Southeast Polk District, this would be the 5th straight year that we'll hold taxes. Our tax rate the same. Southeast Polk and the board has reduced the tax rate for the burden to taxpayers by 30% over the past 10 years when it comes to the district side of the house. So know that we do have expenditures, we do have revenues. Part of what we do from a standpoint of how property taxes are calculated is something that's out of our control. It has to do with something called state foundation aid. So I would, if there's one thing you wanted to do tonight, Google state foundation aid, look how that formula works. When enrollment increases, property valuations increases, there's an automatic increase in the amount of property tax dollars that comes our way. The board, the administration, we went through things like increasing buckets of money related to taxes, like our physical plant and equipment levy. We increased that, we extended that. Even with that rate, it's a stated rate, so the rate is $1.67. When the valuation increases by 11%, it's 11% more of that money just because of how the calculations work. So just know that we are doing our best to work as efficiently as we can with the money that we receive, not only property taxes, but also state funding and all the other types of federal funding that we get as well. So if we haven't increased taxes, it's not our response, it's not our, we don't want to increase taxes. And I do agree with the public speakers as far as reductions of property tax rates and how that all plays out. But know that we are doing the best that we can from the board standpoint, from the administration standpoint, but know that also that some of the things that are coming your way that you see here are out of our control as well.
Any board members have any questions for Mr. McCom?
Could you repeat that resource that you said recommended that we look up?
The state foundation aid formula. It's a calculation of how school districts are funded based on enrollment and based on the students that are in the district.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also for Mr. McCom?
And the valuation of people's property is also not in our control. To clarify
Valuations-
that,
Yeah, the valuations are not in control. There's some other aspects too, which is far more complex, but there was mention of valuations increasing with your residential property. There's also a mechanism called rollback. So the rollbacks are nothing we control either. That's also at the state level, but depending on how your valuations increase, that total amount isn't what you're being taxed on because there's a rollback factor that plays into this. It's a lot more complicated that even I don't deal with property taxes every day, but I know there's also the factors of rollbacks that get played into how much property taxes we actually pay as a citizen.
and your valuation increase, though you might have gone up $92,000, you hit a ceiling every year on how much they can actually increase the valuation and the taxes. So
Isn't it like 3%?
3%.
three and a half, yeah.
I think you only get.
So you're
that
not gonna
charge
go
for that
up
3%.
as much as your value goes up.
Keeps going up.
Yes.
Yeah, it keeps, but I mean, each year, I mean, you don't get to hit that 92, it's whatever that 3% of that 92, so.
Right.
So. Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't be able to ask a question, but if you want, afterwards, you want to come up and ask, and then, but we just can't do it publicly.
I will say there are 2 additional budget meetings scheduled with the board, April 4th and April 18th. And the April 18th date will be the date the board adopts the budget for the 24-25 school year.
All right, so if nobody else has anything from Mr. Beckham, like you said, we have a couple more board meetings. Feel free to reach out to any of us board members up here if you have any other questions, or I'll hang around if you have any more questions that you want to ask, and we can pass it to the other board members as well, so. You have 3 minutes, you want to come up and, I guess you can come up and ask the question. I mean, we're not gonna stop you from asking, we just probably won't answer anything.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
But at least we brought up.
Yep, just name and address there.
Russell Wilkins, 9602 Northeast Third Avenue, Runnels. Is any of this information available online, your proposed budget and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, our budget is online, and then I think you had the questions that that kind of the outline that you gave us, is that online?
That isn't, it can be.
Okay,
And all our board meetings are also recorded online as well.
and if you don't have access to computers, so we can try to work with you to get access to all that information to be.
I've access to it, but I have a real hard time trying to find it.
Okay,
It used to be that I got a email every month or so that gave the activities, the district, the board meeting dates, the agenda, the minutes of previous meetings, and all that's disappeared. Unless you
Maybe-
go digging for it someplace.
yeah, maybe,
southeastpolk.org is where all that's listed.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as convenient as it once was 6-7 years ago.
yeah, it doesn't help today, but we are getting ready to do some of our new websites, so hopefully in the future that'll help.
Yeah, because that information would be very beneficial for all the citizens in the county or in our district now. So that if it's readily available and easy to get to, why it can alleviate some questions and problems, but it also would promote better understanding of how you folks function.
Yeah, maybe would it be too much to ask staff to maybe do a tab at the very beginning when it pops up? Just kind of have that right there at the beginning until we get through this. Is that,
Okay.
so maybe and then feel free to call in and they can direct you to somebody that can help you walk through it if you want to do that. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. All right, anything for the board?
Oh, if that gentleman was able to ask a question, can she ask her question or?
Sure, yeah, you got a couple.
Susan City 507 19th Street Southwest in Altoona. Yeah, my question just had to do with, I noticed one of the items for the increase was the remaining debt issued from the 2020 bond referendum. And really my question was I just can't recall, the specifics of that. And I was just a little surprised to see that paying that back was part of this increase, because I had thought there was kind of a systemic plan already in place for payment. So my question was just kind of, why is that in the increase? And if there's a place I could look at the original bond referendum to see how the proposal indicated it would be paid for.
Yeah, we'll work on those questions that were kind of posed here, and then
And that's on the website too.
that's on the
Yeah.
website, okay. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, need help getting on the website because we definitely understand not everybody has. I still can't navigate the website myself, so. But, all right, if there's no other things for the board action. The public hearing, we're gonna close it at 5:48. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.